All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Fling at you. Sacking you. Dragon Fling? What's that card in hand? Like, in theory, 4 plus 8 plus 1, that adds up to exactly 13. Need some new Zendikar Rising cards? You can get them today from our sponsor, Card Kingdom. Just head over to cardkingdom.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Against the Odds. And this week, we're heading to Zendikar Rising Standard 2.0, post-banning Zendikar Rising Standard, and we're playing Leyline Tyrant, the winning card on last week's poll, and our deck today is pretty sweet. I'm calling it Dragon Fling. The idea is, we make a bunch of mana, maybe triple up our damage, and then fling Leyline Tyrant at our opponent's face, getting some damage with attacking with the fling, and then by paying mana to Leyline Tyrant's ability to hopefully just win the game with 20 damage or more on the spot. So that's our plan. Let's talk about how the deck works, jump right into our game, see it in action. So, of course, our winning card, our name's a guard, Leyline Tyrant. This is the dragon of our deck. 4 mana, 4/4 flyer. We can essentially store up red mana. Our red mana doesn't empty from our mana pool at the ends of turn phases, and when it dies, we can pay any amount of red mana and deal that much damage to anything. So the goal of our deck is to make a bunch of mana, store it up in our mana pool, and then fling with Kazuul's Fury, Leyline Tyrant in our opponent's face. We're going to get at least 4 damage from the fling itself, and then if we have enough mana stored up, we just dump it onto Leyline Tyrant's death trigger and kill our opponent on the spot. Plus, we can also hit our opponent with Leyline Tyrant to get it down a little bit. So that is the main plan of our deck. Kazuul's Fury, also nice because it's a land, so we can play it in the early game when we don't need a fling and we're waiting to get things set up. Of course, for this plan to work, we need a lot of damage. Like, Leyline Tyrant is only 4 damage when we fling it. That would mean we need 16 extra damage or 16 extra mana to actually kill our opponent with this plan. So how do we actually make that happen? And one way we can do it is just by tripling up our damage. We have 2 Fiery Emancipations, which just essentially triples all of our damage. That means if we fling our Leyline Tyrant, rather than hitting for 4, we're going to hit for 12. That means we only need 8 more damage, which means 3 extra mana sitting around with our Leyline Tyrant will be enough to kill our opponent on the spot. So that's one way we can get all the way up to 20 with the plan. The other way is to just make a bunch of mana. We have Dryad of the Ilsen Grove, Azusa Lost But Seeking to play extra land drops. We have Rada Heart of Keld to play lands off the top of our deck. And Rada's also a good backup fling target. If we play a bunch of lands, we can pump it and then fling it and maybe win. Lotus Cobra to make more extra mana. Dryad also really key to this deck because it lets all of our lands tap for any color of mana, which means even if we have a green source on the battlefield, we can still use it to float red mana to pump into our Leyline Tyrant. So extra land drops, key to getting enough mana to win if we don't have Fiery Emancipation. These extra land drops also let us do some sweet combo shenanigans with Valakut's Exploration. One of the sweetest things our deck can do is use Dryad and Azusas and Radas to some extent to make a bunch of land drops. Those land drops will trigger our Valakut's Exploration to exile a card that we can play for the turn, and then we can hit more lands there. We can play those lands, which trigger Valakut's Exploration. So it's kind of this weird snowball-y grindy engine. And then the other cute thing about this is Valakut's Exploration, if we make a bunch of land drops and get a bunch of cards under it, and we don't play those cards, at the end of our turn, those cards go in our graveyard, we hit our opponent for that much damage. That probably doesn't sound too scary. What is it, 3 damage, maybe, in the best case, 4 damage, if we go really crazy. But if we have Fire Emancipation out, that could actually be 9 or 12 damage, a ridiculous amount of damage. Escape to the Wilds for card draw, another way to put an extra land into play. Otherwise, Phalanx is kind of just our backup plan. We can make a bunch of land drops, play it, make a bunch of plants, make those plants big. Thundering Rebuke is our main removal spell. It hits Omnath and early game creatures, and it doesn't have the your opponent controls restriction. It just does 4 damage to a creature or planeswalker. So in a pinch, if we have our Leyline Tyrant and we have a bunch of mana, but we don't have a fling effect to sacrifice it, we can't just rebuke our own Leyline Tyrant and then dump all of our mana in it to burn our opponent out like a weird Banefire type effect. Otherwise, mana base, we get some more value here with MDFCs, Spikefield Hazard, Shatterskull Smashing for removal, Valakut Awakening is a weird self-wheel, Turn Timber Symbiosis can find our Leyline Tyrant, a bunch of mana producing lands in the sideboard, a bunch of removal customization, Scavenging Ooze for graveyards, cards, Return to Nature for artifacts and enchantments, Heroic Intervention to fight through Rash Chandra, just a little more card draw, late game appeal in grindy matchups, and that is Dragon Fling for Standard. That's our Against Odds deck for this week. Let's jump into some games, see if we can fling some dragons. Can the plan work? Can we fire Emancipation, Dragon Fling, kill you on the spot? Can we combo off with Valakut's Exploration? What cool shenanigans can we do? Let's find out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap-up. All right, Against the Odds time. We are Leyline Tyranting in Standard, attempting to play some Gruul Dragon Fling, and all right, I guess we'll keep this. No dragon, more flings than we need, but this is fine. We got lands, Valakut Awakening can draw us cards. All right, so opponent's milling. Well, play the fling, pass the turn. Well, looks like Omnath. The monster, oh dear, another crab, all right. Land, mills. Oh, maybe this is just, oh, there goes all of our Leyline Tyrants, okay. Awkward. Opponent passes, well, land and kill a crab. Pass the turn, Thieves Guild Enforcer. We get milled. Boy, we've got a lot of our good cards milled already. Opponent. Well, the double crab draw is what you, oh, triple crab draw rather, is definitely what you want if you're the mill deck. Opponent plays a land. Mills us, and yeah, this one is looking over already. Opponent gets and hits us, sure. Well, we draw land, we try to kill a crab. Opponent has a counter, has the drown in the lock. Oh god, oh my god. Well, play the land, scry, to the bottom. Ooh, oh, this is disaster. Disaster has struck officially with the triple crab start. Opponent gets and hits us, down to 14. We draw more flings, which don't do anything with all of our dragons being milled. Play Valakut Exploration. Opponent trying to decide if it's worth countering. Decides no. Play a fling. Get a card off of our deck. Another Thieves Guild Enforcer for our opponent. Mills us, mills us. Well, you take one, opponent. Enjoy it. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down to 8. Passes. Well, play Lotus Cobra. Fabled Passage. Trigger. Get a forest. Add a red mana. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a mountain. Trigger. Add a red mana. Leyline Tyrant. Hedge over 1, pass the turn. So we're kind of getting to where we want to be, but our opponents had such a absurd mill start that I'm not sure that it matters. Opponent adds a tutelage to the mix, mills us. Did they find a land? They did, so that mills us. Down to 18 cards. Scries. Oh, I don't think we're going to be fast enough. To the top. Opponent attacks. Is there any way we can get lethal next turn? I don't think so. We got a block. Float a mana. Untap. Pathway on red. So if we float all of our mana, still not lethal. Play Dryad. Temple of Abandon. Trigger. Leave the mountain on top. Valakut Awakening. Oh, we can't. All right. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 4. Down to 14. Pass the turn. Down to 13. Do we get milled all the way out here is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we have lethal next turn if nothing goes horribly wrong. Through the insane mill start. What did our opponent leave on top? If it kills Leyline Tyrant, then things are much worse. About it. Thinking. We don't die to just a land drop. We don't die to a Thieves Guild Enforcer. Wind Robber. Okay. Mills us. That is a flying blocker, which is kind of annoying. Opponent gets in. We will take it. Down to 2. Float all of our mana. Untap. We will play Valakut Awakening. Tapped. Trigger. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so tough. So tough. So opponent's at 12. If we float all of our... Let's think about this. Let's float all of our red mana. How much? That flying blocker might ruin it. So we float all of our mana. That's 11. This leaves us just short, right? We fling. Actually, no. All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Fling at you. Sacking you. Dragon Fling? What's that card in hand? Like, in theory, 4 plus 8 plus 1, that adds up to exactly 13. If this isn't a counter or something. Well, all right. All of our mana into the Leyline Tyrant to your face. There's 8. Dragon Fling. Opponent desperately, if they draw the win off this, mills us. There's 4. No attacks. At the turn, Velka Exploration. Whoo! All right. Our opponent had an insane mill start, triple crab, and Dragon Fling was able to take it down. Oh boy. All right, that was super impressive. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So, what do we want against? This is just straight up mill. I guess Soul Seer's got to come in to deal with our opponent's creatures. Cinderclasm doesn't get crabs, but it gets rogues. We'll go down Palith. We'll go down... What else can we cut? Go down one Spikefield Hazard. Well, that was actually pretty impressive. Our deck managed to go off. Go down the Fiery Emancipation. Try it like that. Wow. Well, that shows the amount of damage our deck can pour on. We needed 1 turn of untapping with Leyline, and we were able to get the Dragon Fling win. So that does show what the deck could do. Well, this we will keep just because we can kill crabs. And I guess Lotus Cobra's fine if we draw something big eventually, but the big deal is we get to kill the crabs or whatever rogues are coming for us. Opponent. Yeah. Going to 6. And a land. Well, Shattered Skull Smashing tapped. No crab to start is nice. Island for opponent. Well, let's just Pathway on green, Lotus Cobra. If our opponent kills it, that's fine. It's good, but not essential to what we're trying to do. Okay, opponent bounces it. Alright, we're okay with that. Pewdage. Swamp and Teferi's Tutelage. Alright, so here comes the mill. Discards another bounce spell. Well, Lotus Cobra. I guess we play the tap land, even though... yeah, I guess we put it to the bottom. We do actually want to draw that at some point. Add a mana, pass the turn. Well, we can deal with crabs. We can't deal with this Teferi's Tutelage easily, though. Opponent mills us. There's a crab. And a Fabled Passage. And mills us. And cracks it and mills us. Alright. Hopefully this is okay. So we get milled. And a Wind Robber. Alright, but our opponent's about out of stuff now, which is good. Opponent passes. Fabled Passage. Make a mana. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a Mountain. Make a mana. Escape to the Wilds. Fabled Passage. Make a mana. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a Mountain. Make a mana. And you know what, opponent? I think your stuff gets to live one more turn. We're going to get down our Leyline Tyrant. Take the worst our opponent can give us, and then try to have a good turn next turn. And get our combo set up. I mean, we have the Fling in hand, so we're not that far away from maybe being able to win if this Leyline Tyrant sticks around. We saw that last game, like how much damage we can pour on. Ruin crap, opponent mills us. We are down to 27 cards in our deck. Alright, so opponent is able to kill our Leyline Tyrant. So that is disappointing. Gets in for 1, mills us. Yeah, now we don't got much going on, do we? Play Lotus Cobra. Pathway. Make some mana. Rebuke the crab. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. Opponent mills us. Eventually they can sack this to trigger the tutelage too. Alright, land but no crab, so that's fine. Oh, another Leyline. Do we have Leyline Tyrants left? 1 down. Oh no. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, there's 1. We have 1 Leyline Tyrant left. Opponent. Passing. No attacks. Well, play Errata. Play... Actually, let's just go to combat. Attack. Opponent takes it. Oh, play the land. Add some mana. Well, Rada Fling could also work. Pass the turn. Well, we'll see. We'll see what our opponent can do. Mills us. Sure. Down to 20 cards. I mean, Rada, it is a backup. It is a backup that can actually get the job done with Fling. It's going to get bit. Oh, opponent top decks. Okay. All right. We'll let it go. Oh, wow, that's a good draw for our opponent. Opponent passes. We go to combat. We attack. Opponent blocks. Sacks. Mills. Yep. Oh, that Rada was going to be so good. Opponent drops to 12. We play another Lotus Cobra. Play the land. Makes a bunch of mana. Doesn't do anything. Sure, Dryad can stay on top. It's going to get milled. Add a bunch of mana. Add a bunch of mana. Add a bunch of mana. Pass the turn. Opponent mills us. There goes our Dryad down to 15. What does our opponent find? Well, this is not how we want to win, but we'll take it however we can. Opponent, wow, draws a card. Okay. Down to 10. Oh, we're so close, and yet so far, 2 lands milled. Opponent, passing. Now play Valakut Exploration. Play a land. Trigger. See what Valakut gives us first. Soulseer. Well, add a bunch of mana. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent. Down to 4, down to 3. We're 1 point of damage off. Opponent. Can they mill us out? Oh my goodness, we're 1 point of damage away. Opponent has a handful of cards. Plays a land. Cracks the land. Thins the deck. They can't draw with this Castle Lock Wayne or they get flung. Opponent. Frantic Inventory. Draws. Triggers. Mills us. 7 cards. Come on, Castle Lock Wayne. Oh my goodness. So we're 1 point of damage short and we're dead. Wow. Wow. What are the chances? All right, well, run it back. Oh, wow, that was ridiculously close. Oh, opponent drew the right cards at the right time. Mill definitely has some power to it, I guess, in the right matchups. Oh, that one's mostly frustrating because we were just ridiculously close. We needed really, literally 1 point of damage, and we would have won that game. A single point. All right, well, let's see. We'll play first. Sand has a lot of action, but not many lands. I mean, I think we're going to keep it and trust that we hit our lands and it's good. Island for our opponent. Merfolk Ridden Robber. That's not a land. Well, land on green, pass the turn. Come on, lands. We need lands. Ruin Crab. So here comes some milling. And the fetch land. Well, alright, let's kill the Wind Robber before it can draw a card. Well, hopefully all of our lands don't get milled. We need to draw lands to have a shot here. Opponent. In the tank for some reason that is not understandable to normal brains. So 2 lands milled. Can our opponent keep the trend going and accidentally randomly mana screw us? Gets a swamp. 2 more lands milled. All right, we do draw a land. So play a land. Play Dryad. Pass the turn. Opponent land mills us. Teferi's Tutelage. Loots mills us. Well, I mean, opponent's off to another good mill start, that's for sure. We still need to hit lands. Rada does give us a chance with this Dryad to place... all right, land milled. Opponent passes. Well, there's a land. So play Rada. Temple. Dryad to the bottom. Mountain. Go attacking. Opponent might not block because of Spark whatever. Opponent takes it. Mills us. We're pretty far behind the mill train, though, and have not drawn a removal spell. Land mills us. To the top. Another Tutelage. Double mills us. Yeah, this is a very fast mill start. Mills. Land on top. I'll play the land. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. 27 cards in our deck. All right. Opponent takes it to 15. Blocks Dryad. We will play Leyline Tyrant. Temple of Abandon. Leave it on top. Pass the turn. Opponent double. I mean, we might just get milled out here, though. Opponent mills. We might just get milled out. 23 cards. Opponent steals our Leyline Tyrant and passes. Awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's escape to the wilds. Draw some cards. Play a land. Play a land. Valakut's Exploration. Pass the turn. Yeah. Oh boy, opponent's got all the tech. And I think we're just done now. Wow. I can't believe we didn't win that game too. Opponent sees it coming, knows they gotta kill Rada. Passes. Well, go to combat. Actually, you know what? Let's 1, 2, 3. Soul Sear the Dragon. It dies. Opponent's got no red. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. Takes their beats. Oh, I think we're going to die this turn, though. Down to 12. Leyline Tyrant. Opponent has a counter. Kazuul's Fury. Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Are we dead? I assume the answer is yes. Oh, we were so close to getting the Rada Fling win. Drown in the lock kills Rada. Well, now we're even more dead. Opponent mills us. Merfolk Windrobber to have a jump blocker. Passes. Dryad, unhelpful. Well, alright. Play our Fling. Draw a land that does nothing. Scoop it up. Well, okay. I guess it does something, because it triggers Valakut Exploration. I don't know if there's a way we actually can win from here, though. Add a mana. I don't even know if we have a basic left. Oh, my goodness. Oh, so close. Oh, we don't have anything relevant left in our deck. All right. Yeah. Oh. All right. Against the odds time, we are flinging dragons. Leyline Tyrant shenanigans. Ooh. All right. We got the Leyline Tyrant and our exploration and a way to make land drops and ramp. This hand actually looks pretty good. In theory, we can turn 3 the Leyline Tyrant if we want to. Force go. Opponent. Alright, looks like the traditional matchup. Either Adventures or Omnath, or both of them matched together into one. Alright, so it's the mill Omnath deck by the looks. Opponent. Pathway mills us. So if we play this, alright, so play this, make a mana. Play Dryad. Play this, make a mana. Crack this, make a mana. And Leyline Tyrant? Pass the turn? I mean, that's a fast start. We're off to a fast start. Our opponent's deck, we know, can do bonkers thing. Oh, okay. Opponent also has a Cobra. Plays a mountain, makes a mana. Mills us. Yeah, removal would be nice. Opponent passes. Valakut Awakening. So, what's our best path forward here? Play Valakut Exploration. Valakut Awakening. Trigger. Make a mana. Play the land. Trigger. Yeah, we'll leave it on top. Make a mana. Rada. All attack. Well, let's see if we get Omnath into Oblivion here. Opponent down to 13. Do they have the Omnath? That is question 1. Omnath fetch land would be... Well, I guess they can't Omnath fetch land. So they have a Plains. They make mana, they mill us. And Thundering Rebuke's actually not horrible on top of our deck. Adds a green. Felidare Retreat. Okay. Opponent passes. Ooh, Fabled Passage. That we like. That we really like. Play Fabled Passage. Okay, Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. We don't really want to draw this tap land. Get a mountain. Trigger. Add a red mana. Go to combat. All attack. See how our opponent blocks. Blocks Dryad. Blocks Rada. Okay. Down to 7. Do we have enough mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Okay, so not quite Fling, but this still works. Float all of our mana. Thundering Rebuke. Leyline Tyrant? Yes, we're sure. And Sevenya? And game? Ooh! Well, not Dragon Fling, but Dragon Rebuke also gets the job done. And that was actually a surprisingly impressive performance. That was about as fast and explosive as our deck can be right there. Like, that was pretty good. That was very, very good. All right, so opponent doing what standard decks do. Omnathing, Genesis, waving, all that good stuff. We'll bring in 2 Soul Seers. We'll bring in 1 Primal Might. And what are we cutting is the question. We can go down an Azusa. We can go down 1 Fire Emancipation. We can go down 1 let's go on the Falith. We could also bring in Red Cat Melee. Would be decent. Red Cat Melee, Red Cat Melee. Also, another way we can kill our Leyline Tyrant if we need to. If we can find room, is the question. So we have 20 lands, 24 lands, 25, 26, 27. All right, let's go down the Symbiosis. And, all right, one Red Cat Melee. Run it like that. All right, well, it worked in game 1. That is the power of Leyline Tyrant. Oh, all right, we're on the draw for this game, which is a little scary. And, well, all right. We got Leyline Tyrants for literal days. Leyline Tyrant Trod. Is it good enough? Probably depends on how explosive our opponent's hand is. No, I don't mind drawing a removal spell. We are going to need another land at some point, but mountain for our opponent. Lucky Clover. Well, land go. So that is definitely scary. That allows for explosive things. Opponent, Forest, and Guild. Wow, okay. Opponent looks like a different deck at the moment. Can we draw a land? No. Well, Dryad. Pass the turn because we don't have an extra land drop, sadly. I guess we did sideboard out a couple of MDFCs. Opponent. Oh, dear. Well, I guess we probably should have left up our mana. Do they have the fetch land? Oh, all right, just a normal land. So that's good. Ooh, okay. Well, play the land. Ugh, yeah. We got to rebuke Omnath. We would like to be playing Leyline Tyrant, but we can't let Omnath untap here. Pass the turn. Ooh, there's a fetch land. Thankfully, the Omnath's gone at the moment. Beanstalk Giant, ramping. All right, so our opponent's going to be up to Genesis Ultimatum next turn if they have it, which is definitely a haymaker. Opponent, passing. Well, what do we draw? Another Dryad. We'll go to combat, attack ya. Yeah, our land drop thing is not going as smoothly as we'd like. Well, get in, hit ya. Leyline Tyrant. Pass the turn. Well, this is a super scary turn, though. The Clover's out. Opponent's going to bounce our board. Well, our opponent's down to 1 card. They're down to 1 unknown card in hand, which is something. Maybe that card isn't good. Maybe it's not something that just beats us. Opponent gets a forest, makes food. They are going to be able to play this Beanstalk Giant, which is going to be a fast clock. Like, I guess that's the best case, and that's still not a great case. Missing land drops has not been ideal. Yeah, there's a Beanstalk Giant. Opponent passes. I'll play the land on red. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a mountain. Escape to the Wilds. Scry land. Spikefield Hazard to the bottom. Well, all right, pass the turn. That is a 7/7 staring back at us, though. Oh! And now an Omnath, which is actually way worse for us than a 7/7. And Errata. That's a big board. That's a big board of stuff. No land drop, I guess, is kind of good. We take a beating down to 7. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Oh, they do have a land. All right, plays a land, gains some life. Passes. I'll play Lotus Cobra. Temple of Abandon. Thundering Rebuke to the bottom. Add a green mana. Dryad. Kazuul's Fury. Add a mana. Soul Seer. We're super far behind, though, to the point where we have to start chump blocking, which kind of is rough. And that's if our opponent doesn't have anything. If they do have something, then we're just... Oh, okay. So now we're dead. Yeah, Beanstalk Giant Rata. That is lethal and a half. All right. Well, we get to be on the play for Game 3. Game 1 was pretty spectacular for our deck. On the other hand, this game, we were off to a super slow start. Let's bring in the Return to Nature to deal with Lucky Clover. And what do we cut for it, though, is the question. All right, let's go down all the Azusas, run it like that. Azusa dies to Bone Crusher, which our opponent certainly has a million of. Well, all right, we gotta get off to a faster start. Leyline Tron was not good enough. Well, this is has a lot of good removal, but that's a mulligan. No lands. Well, all right, we will keep. We will put Emancipation to the bottom. Well, if we draw lands, this could be good. Like, Valak Exploration with Dryad can do some sweet ramping. Well, Pathway go. Gonna need a land, gonna need a land. Can we find one? And how ridiculous is our opponent start? Plays a forest, well, it's a land. So play the land, play Lotus Cobra. All right, that's a start we don't mind. Opponent. Mountain passes. So we will play a forest. Add a red mana. Play Valak Exploration. Go attacking. Pass the turn. Island for our opponent. Beanstalk Giant. All right, so this looks like a Omnath next turn, most likely. Gets the plains. I'll play Lotus Cobra. Play a forest. Trigger Valakut's Exploration. Oh, no. Dryad. Go attacking. Hit you for one, but Omnath, do they have Omnath fetch land? That is the best thing going in Standard at the moment. They got the mana. Okay, they don't. That's good. We really need a land. We really need a land. Opponent gets an island. All right, that's a land. So play the land. Trigger. Add some manas. Add red. Add green. Play the land. Trigger. Add some mana. Play red. Or add red. Add green. Escape to the wilds. Oh, please no counters. All right, resolves. That's good. Okay, so we get to play Dryad. Fabled Passage. Add some mana. Draw a card. And Spikefield Hazard. Add red. Add green. Crack Fabled Passage. Oh, we're kind of comboing. Get a land. Trigger, trigger, trigger. All right, another land. Add red. Add green. Fabled Passage. Trigger, trigger, trigger. And then more lands. Add red. Add green. Crack Fabled Passage. It would be nice to hit some non-lands at some point. Something we could actually cast. Get a forest. Trigger, trigger, trigger. Red Cap Melee. Add red. Add green. Valakut Awakening. Draw a card. Go to combat. Do we want to do anything else? Go to combat. Attack. Opponent bounces a Cobra. Okay. Drops to 11. We will pass the turn. Hit our opponent to 7. Not quite lethal even with this Fling. All right. How good of a turn could our opponent have? That's the question. Because we can go back to doing what we've been doing next turn. Opponent. Land. No Omnath, though. Not super worried about a Beanstalk Giant here. Wow, we went off last turn. We didn't find a dragon. We hit a ton of lands, but we went deep with this Valakut's Exploration. About it. All right, it's a Beanstalk Giant. Can we win? Can we win this turn? Opponent passes. I think we should be able to. So we will play Lotus Cobra. I guess it doesn't matter how we tap. Play Lotus Cobra. Play the Pathway on red. Trigger Valakut's Exploration. Add some mana. Oh my god, escape. That's what we wanted to see. Escape. Draw some more cards. Shatter Skull Smashing. Untapped. Add some mana. And then Thundering Rebuke. And then Soul Seer. And then go to combat. Hit ya. Down to 1. Land. Trigger, trigger, trigger. And now all we gotta do is pass. And our Valak Exploration takes care of it, or we could Fling. No dragon, but we just comboed off the best deck in Standard. Pretty convincingly. All right. Well, it was a dragon Fling, but it was still sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. Against odds time, we are flinging dragons in Standard. And all right, we'll keep this. Azusa Valaka Exploration could potentially do some things, and we have removal, and one of our backup plans, Falith. Falith could be decent. Well, let's play the Fling, get the tap land out of the way, pass the turn. Ooh, control? This might be an actual control deck. Well, that's going to mean that this Valaka Exploration is going to be key. Swamp for our opponent. Birth. Alright. Well, hopefully we keep drawing lands. Play a mountain. Play Valaka Exploration. Opponent gets a wall. Doom Foretold is potentially an issue. Planes for our opponent. Huh. How do we do this? Counterspell not super likely. Alright, play Lotus Cobra. Oh, there is a counterspell. Alright, so that's worse. Play a mountain. Escape past the turd. Ugh. Now Doom Foretold can potentially wreck us. Opponent, land. Or life, rather. Loses a birth. And tap land to the bottom. Well, Leyline Tyrant. Unfortunately missing land drops, which isn't great. Omen of the Sun, make some dorks. Ooh, is it Doom Foretold is the question. Land for our opponent. Doom Foretold. So there's a Doom Foretold. Now, sack. Sack the dragon. No damage. Play Errata. Land off the top. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a forest. And, yeah, I guess we pass. Hit our opponent for 2. Put it. Yeah, Doom Foretold's really good against us. We don't have a very clean answer to Doom Foretold. Opponent sacks, draws a card. Treacherous Blessing. So opponent keeping the Doom Foretold going. And Confounding Conundrum. And passes. Well, now we gotta sack Rada. Play Valakut Awakening. Play Azusa. Kill a token. I feel like we're sort of just locked here, though, unfortunately. Opponent, sacks Treacherous Blessing. Untaps. Land and Ashiok. Bounces Azusa. We'll get rid of Azusa. Take 1. Lose our Valaka Exploration. Well, rebuke Ashiok. And pass the turn. Yeah. So Doom Foretold's gonna go off. Draw our opponent more cards. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Untaps. Doom Foretold. Sacks. Combat. Hits us. Down to 18. Land passes. Well, now we have to discard the Leyline Tyrant. Opponent, Doom Foretold does its job. Well, Paleth, do you have a counter? If you do, we scoop. Omen of the Sun. Well, that's not a counter. Alright, resolves. Fabled Passage. Grow a plant. Crack Fabled Passage. Get a mountain. Grow a plant. Alright, well, let's see if they find a Wrath. They do get to scry if they want to. Yeah, opponent's gonna scry. Looking for an answer to our board. Doom Foretold is a little less good because it doesn't get tokens. So that is an upside that our tokens are not going to get eaten away. 2 to the bottom. Alright, so apparently not a Wrath. Opponent untaps. Do they have the Wrath? Or something else devastating? We're super far behind on cards. Opponent plays a land. Looking at their graveyard for some reason. Oh. Alright, Dance of the Mance, and we will scoop it up. Whoo! This feels like a pretty not good matchup for us, I would say. Pretty not good. So, we can bring in the oozes for the graveyard. We can bring in Return to Nature. Go down. Thundering Rebukes. Go up the Chandra. And I guess bring in Heroic Intervention over Spikefield Hazards. Let's try it like that. I guess we have some, like, slightly okay cards we can bring in, but still. Ugh. Yeah, Doom Foretold, pretty good against us. Alright, we are on the play. And alright, I mean, we'll keep it. Gonna put the Fling to the bottom for now. We don't have a dragon to go with it. Island for our opponent. We'll play a land. Lotus Cobra. So we're gonna be able to ramp, but we don't have a Valakut Expiration to start drawing cards. Planes. Confounding Conundrum. Actually pretty annoying for us. We draw Kazuul's Fury anyway. Well, Pathway on red. Make a green mana. Play Dryad. Go attack it. Yeah, opponent's like super duper ultra prepared for our deck. Opponent. Golden Egg. Draws a card. I'll play Pathway on red. Add a mana. Go to combat. Attack ya. Down to 14. Opponent. Do you have Doom Foretold? Alright, Birth of Meletis. Opponent's trying to hit their land drops. Gets a Plains. Plays a Plains. And passes. Well, play Scavenging Ooze. Fabled Passage. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Pass the turn. So opponent gets her wall. We do have this Heroic Intervention to fizzle a Wrath, which is nice. Another burst. So opponent's just going to try and make walls for days. Sure. Gets a Plains, plays the Plains, and passes. I'll play the Fling. Add a mana. Go to combat. Attack ya. Omen of the Sun. Blocks. 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 Alright, so we lose a Lotus Cobra. Pass the turn. Opponent gets more walls. Yeah, this is a tough spot. Land. Another Confounding Conundrum to draw a card. And opponent's passing. Well, keep the graveyard clean. Untap. Play Symbiosis tapped. Pass the turn. Well, now we'd like to find a winner to resolve this Escape to the Wilds. I don't know how we're going to find it, though. Opponent cracks Fabled Passage. Island. Yeah, this is not the most interesting game. We've essentially just been stacked. Opponent gains some life. The birth goes away. Doom Foretold. Well, we will destroy Doom Foretold. Eat Doom Foretold. Eat the birth, because we did see the Dance of the Mad, so keep the graveyard clean. Well, I guess we also... let's eat the Fabled Passage, too. Eat it all. Untap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play the land. Escape. Resolves. Alright, and we will pass the turn. Can't really play extra lands because of these Confounding Conundrums, unfortunately. Treacherous Blessing to draw some cards. Scryland to the top. Opponent. Passing. Play Exploration. Fabled Passage. Alright, opponent's gonna blow it up. Yeah, we're gonna let it go. Sure. Alright, play Leyline Tyrant. Pass the turn. Opponent gets in. We block and block. So here comes the Wrath. The question's gonna be, does our opponent also have a counter? Heroic Intervention. Resolves. Opponent loses their board. We don't lose our board. Opponent plays a land. Yeah, they're still indestructible. Go to combat. Attack ya. And opponent scoops it up. Hey! The sideboard tech. The sideboard tech paid off. I still feel very not comfortable about this matchup because our opponent has just so many answers to what we're doing. Like a ridiculous amount. And we don't have many answers to what they're doing. But we did manage to squeeze out a win somehow. Somehow, some way. Alright, on the draw. Can we Dragon Fling him? Through all the hate in the West. Well, okay, we'll keep it. Tap land for our opponent. Fabled Passage, go. Tap land for our opponent. To the top. Well, crack this. Grab a forest. We do need to hit land still. Alright, land Lotus Cobra. Go. Plains for our opponent, passes. Oh, Lotus Cobra. Forest. Add a couple mana. Valakut Exploration. No attack, so we don't run into those annoying tokens. Yeah, there's Omen of the Sun. Well, next turn could be a good one, depending on what our opponent has. There's a land. Gets down a Doom Foretold. Well, we will sack Lotus Cobra, unfortunately. One of them. We will... Alright, how do we do this? Turn Timber Symbiosis. Untapped. Trigger. add a mana. Escape from the Wilds. Actually, let's do this differently. Let's play Azusa, Temple of Abandon, Scry first. Leyline Tyrant bottom. We'd actually rather hit a land. All right, there's a land. Add a mana. Pathway on red. Trigger. Oh, Emancipation. Well, add a mana. Escape to the Wilds. Pathway on red. Add green. Return to nature. Blow up Doob Foretold. And that was a bit of a turd. That was a little bit of a turd, I would say. We really did some things. All right, opponent, what do you got now? Valak Expiration, sweet. I mean, if we untap with this board state, we can really, really go to town. All right, Golden Egg, we were not concerned about that, sure. Well, yeah, we can go off if we untap here. It's going to be insane. Well, theoretically, as long as we keep hitting lands, we'd only have one exploration. Opponent's looking all over. I don't know if they're trying to figure out if they're dead or what to kill. All right, kills Azusa, sure. Gets in no blocks. So, we play Lotus Cobra. We play Temple of Abandon. Scry first. We will keep Escape. Add green. Add red. Escape. Play a land. Add green. Add green. Play Dryad. Play Pathway on red. Trigger, trigger. Add red. Add red. Chandra. Kill the token. Go attacking. Hit ya. Ping ya. All right. I like where we're at. I thought this was going to be a horrible matchup, but it's going well this game. We're just like going off. We got Leyline Tyrants. We got Fiery Emancipations. We might be able to lock it up next turn. An opponent scoops it up. Well, we didn't actually get to the Leyline Tyrant, but we comboed off with Valak Expiration. Wow. All right, that was a good recovery. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right. Against the odds time, we are Dragon Flinging in standard. Gruul Dragon Fling, and I mean, we're going to keep this. We're going to keep this. We only need one land for this hand to be good. So, one land gets us to Rada and Valak Exploration, which should get us more lands and get us to our Leyline Tyrant. So, hopefully, see what our opponent's up to. I mean, we are going to need to hit that one land, or things can go pretty bad pretty quick. Well, Fable Passage, go. Island for our opponent, Ruin Crab. All right, so looks like mill. Well, get a mountain. That is a land. So untap, Thundering Rebuke the Crab. Get that out of here. Opponent. Okay, very good at drawing crabs. Crab number 2. And a land for the mill. Well, play the land, play Rada. Pass the turn. Get milled. Lotus Cobra. Come on, land on top of our deck, please. Please, please, please. All right, that is a land. So play Temple. Scry Cobra to the bottom. I guess we play Dryad. Go attacking. This is where we get combo killed, though. By the old Busterino Omnath. Opponent down to 17. Well, we passed the turn. So opponent's double landfall creature. Handful of cards. Lotus Cobra for mana. Thinking. I assume our opponent's counting up mana to, like, Genesis Ultimatum combo or something. Escape from the Wilds. Omnath. Some sort of horrible thing is about to happen. Tap land. Mana. Mills us. Adds a green. Cultivate. Makes mana. Mills us. Yeah. Ugh. Into a Leyline Tyrant, which we don't especially want since we have 2 in hand. Opponent passes. I'll turn Timber Symbiosis. Untapped. Land untapped. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. So we can hit for 9, 10, 11. All right, let's just hit our opponent. Down to 11. Leyline Tyrant. However, this This is a turn where Genesis ultimatums and all that stuff is online. Fetch land, mills us. Adds a mana. Cracks the land, mills us. So, yeah, opponent has Genesis ultimatum, which, unless our opponent gets really unlucky, means the game ends here. Yeah. Genesis ultimatum. Lotus Cobra, bunch of lands. Okay. I mean, so our opponent gets their mana back. We'll see if they can keep going. And they also mill us a ton. They didn't get an Omnath or anything, which I guess is some amount of relief. Opponent, yeah. So Genesis ultimatum ends up being free here, thanks to Lotus Cobra. Opponent appears to be adding mana for, well, we'll see. We're also down to 15 cards in our library, which is not many. Cultivate. So that mills us down to, so we gotta win this turn? I don't think we can win this turn. Alright, so we will float red mana. We untap. Yeah, we can't win this turn. We don't have the fling anyway. And then we get milled out. Well, we'll see. So float the mana. We might have one more turn. Maybe. So, how many flings do we have left? Like, is it worth playing Valakut Exploration? 1 fling, 2 fling. Okay. Well, I think we gotta play it. So, play Valakut Exploration. Play a land. Play a land. Go to combat. Attack. Wow, okay. Pump you? What's this last card? Oh! Oh! Oh, we won! We won! I don't think our opponent read Rada. Okay. Whoa! Through a Genesis ultimatum. Well, we didn't get the fling kill, but that was some dragon beatdowns. Well, Soul Seer in because it can kill things. Maybe red cap melees? Shock doesn't really kill the things we need to kill. I mean, Primal Might could be good. Primal Might. What are we cutting is the other question. We can go down 1 Azusa. We can go down 1 Fire Emancipation. We can go down 1 Valakut Awakening. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, that's 27. That's fine. All right, run it like that. Well, we did get the... I mean, our deck can pour on some damage. Especially when our opponent blocks him properly. Look out. I'm still... like, super paranoid about this matchup, which is just ridiculous. Alright. I like the removal. The removal's good. So we're not going to just immediately die to crabs and whatnot. Well, Scryland. Forest Bottom. Opponent. Tap land. Well, Scryland. Spikefield Hazard. Bottom. Mountain for our opponent. Cultivates. Double Island. Wow, so many lands in a row. We'll play the forest past the turn. This does mean we can kill a Omnath with the trigger on the stack. Jeez. Scryland. Alright, at this point, I think we're going to keep Fire Emancipation past the turn. Opponent's building up their mana, though. And once they build up their mana, scary things can happen. Fabled Passage. Crack it. Grab a mountain. Escape. Fabled Passage. Past the turn. Well, this is our opponent's turn to do things if they can. Alright, so they have white mana for next turn for Omnath. We also exiled a lot of removal that isn't doing a ton. Well, crack Fabled Passage. Get a mountain. Untap. Escape. Oh no! Oh no, oh no. Play a forest. Play a Fabled Passage. And yeah, I think we have to pass. I think we have to leave up Soul Seer for Omnath here. And then next turn, hopefully we can do things. Because we got to be able to kill Omnath with the trigger on the stack, I think. All right, there's Omnath. Crack. Mountain. Omnath resolves. Soul Seer it. Yep. Opponent. Land. Passes. I'll play Valakut Exploration. Play Dryad. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Untapped. Trigger. Opponent's going to kill the Dryad. Alright, well, we can't actually stop that. This does mean we're going to lose Leyline Tyrant. Opponent has to sack a land, which is good. Well, I guess we can. Alright, Shatter Skull. Oh, we can't, because we lost our extra land drop. Alright, so Valakut Exploration. Down to 19 past the turn. Alright, 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 alright. Well, do you have a whammy, opponent? Ruin Crab. Escape. All right, draws a bunch of big things, including another Escape, but no Genesis Ultimatum. We get milled. Well, Dryad. Kazuul's Fury, tapped. Trigger. Leyline Tyrant. Rebuke the Crab. Pass the turn. All right. There's a chance we can combo kill next turn if we get a next turn. Hopefully our opponents just like escape from the Wild Zing or something. Beanstalk Giant gets a land. Okay. I guess Gargaroth can block. All right, runs out Gargaroth. Can we win here? Can we win here? Do we have enough mana? Oh, gonna be very interesting. Very interesting. Land for our opponent. Cracks it. We actually would like to hit a land, so we don't have to play this Kazuul's Fury as a land. Gets a forest. All right, so Spikefield Hazard. Tapped. Trigger. Pathway. Red. Trigger. Fiery Emancipation. Thundering Rebuke. Go to combat. Attack ya. And fling the dragon? Oh! No mana, but that's fine. Fling it for 12. That's the dream against the best deck in the format. All right. So we can Dragon Fling him. And hilariously, because of this Fiery Emancipation, we would have dealt an actual kind of ridiculous amount of damage with these Valakut Explorations. Like, just those, putting these 3 cards in, that's going to be, what, 9 damage or something? So technically, we didn't even have to Fling the Dragon, but if you get the chance, I mean, you gotta do it. All right. Yeah. Well, that worked that time. Sweet. So what do we learn this week about Dragon Fling in Standard? And the deck was actually really sweet, and it worked fairly well. We played 5 matches. We won 3 of them. One of our losses was to Blue-Black Mill in a ridiculously close match. We won game 1. Game 2, we got our opponent to 1. We had them right on the edge when we got milled out. But we ended up losing that 3-game match. Our other loss came to an Omnath deck, and we actually played Omnath 3 times across our league. Thankfully, like, slightly different versions. One was like Adventure Omnath, one was Crab Omnath, one was just normal Omnath. But we ended up losing one of those, but we won the other 2. So we actually had a winning record against Omnath decks, which was pretty impressive. And then we beat Doom Foretold, which was surprising, because in game 1 that felt really bad, but it got much better after we sideboarded, got some sideboard cards like our Heroic Interventions to Feel Wrath. So the deck itself, it was pretty sweet. Like, we got some really sweet Leyline Tyrant Fling kills. We did some cool things with Fiery Emancipation, which is absolutely absurd. Fiery Emancipation, like, if that sits on the battlefield, it's pretty close to win the game. Like, all of a sudden, your stuff just hits for so much damage. And we had some really sweet combo turns. We had some turns where we just played so many cards, made so many land drops to trigger our Valakut Exploration so many times to draw more cards, to make more land drops, and really just kind of do this snowball-y thing, which actually felt very powerful. So I actually really like this deck. It felt reasonably competitive. It didn't just auto scoop to Omnath, which is good, and it was really close to getting even more wins. So I don't know, if you want to throw some dragons at people's faces, it seemed like a pretty sweet option, and it was really fun to play. This snowbally combo turns are just really sweet. So that's Dragon Fling. That's our Against the Odds for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.